who knew investigating a housing co-op could be this hazardous? Well, tonight, Bob Norman is back with another neighborhood corruption story. This time, it involves a condo president who paid himself big money and even bought himself a car with community funds. Well, the state has ordered him to stop, but he's still in power and still paying himself. Here's Bob's report.
But you're breaking the law right now.
No, we're not.
Meet Ed Ryan, a longtime condo president at Georgian Court North Apartments in Fort Lauderdale, who's been paying himself tens of thousands of dollars out of association funds in what the state has already said is against the law. The state says you altered records, that you're paying yourself without a license.
But the state...
You bought yourself this car, you shouldn't have done that.
No, and that was all done with the board approval and the association approval.
What in the world is this man hiding?
Residents Iva Steed and Hildra Tague learned that Ryan was writing numerous checks to himself and another board member, as well as this. Ryan bought this vehicle in 2010 in Michigan, where his other home is, under his own name, but he used association funds to pay for it.
Makes no sense whatsoever.
Condo expert and attorney Eric Glazer.
Can't possibly figure how that would be allowed under Florida law.
Steed filed this police report last year when she learned of the $22,000 purchase, but the FLPD called it a civil matter because the Ryan-controlled board approved the purchase after the fact. So she went to the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, which found that Ryan had been paying himself for years.
Quit paying yourself. You are not licensed, and in the state of Florida, that is a criminal act.
They say that you're basically serving as a manager.
No, that's not
without a license.
Yeah, no, that's not true at all.
Didn't you pay yourself more than $45,000 last year alone?
No, I don't. No?
No?
No.
That's what the state says.
Yeah. Well, I think, we've got cases going on with, we've hired attorneys and so, yeah. So anyway, yeah.
The state investigation also found that Ryan violated board election rules and altered association documents to indicate the board approved his pay.
The state has sent a cease and desist letter, and he has not complied with that.
The state ordered Ryan to stop in September, but he admitted to me he's still getting paid. Is the association paying you right now?
Yep.
So you're still on the payroll?
Well, yeah.
Why don't you hire a manager instead of...
We're in the process of doing that, so...
But you've been in the process of doing that for how long?
Oh, gosh, I'm trying to think.
The DBPR referred the case to the state attorney's office for possible criminal prosecution.
It's about power. They're trying to make us afraid.
Tague and Steed say they and others have been bullied by Ryan and his supporters. Are you on the board? When I returned, I was approached by this man, later identified as Ryan cohort, Seaman McGrath, who was accused in November of assaulting another resident. No charges were filed.
It's not available at this time.
McGrath led the way to the association's office, which has this welcoming sign on the door, but became violent when I was walking in. Hey, what the? In Fort Lauderdale, Bob Norman, Local 10 News.
Well, Bob tells us the state attorney is now reviewing the case here, and the co-op's lawyers say they are fighting all of the allegations, and that despite the state's order, the condo board continues to approve of the ongoing payments to Ryan.